to F.E.A.R, guys.
Here
Let
we
us.
go.
Hey, here we
So
go. How are we doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Marc, Keith, me. Welcome everybody. This is it. We're rebranded. We started the F.E.A.R podcast the proper way. It is now underway. The three of us together. Let's fucking do this, guys.
Let's do
Um,
it.
so we got three movies tonight for you guys.
Yep. We decided with the launch of the show for the first episode officially, with it being February, we would look at Valentine's related horror movies. So we've got a couple of an iconic classic, a much maligned early 2000s, and because it's a birthday in the crew, we've got a birthday in the crew. We've gone a little bit shifted a little bit to one side, and we have a birthday related movie as well. So a couple of different things here and there, but all good stuff and all things that you guys should definitely check out.
What's up, JT?
What's up, man?
Hey guys.
Oh, some good movies, and I hadn't even seen My Bloody Valentine. Let's start with the
Mhm.
older movie. What
Sure.
1981? Marc, correct me if
Nine,
Yep,
I'm wrong.
1981, correct. Looks much older.
Yes.
it
Looks much
does.
older. It looks much older. I'd say it looks mid 70s. The score is very mid 70s. It doesn't feel like an. I know 81 isn't exactly late in the decade, but it just feels like it's an older movie.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's a classic. It wasn't a classic upon release, but like most of these things, it's a classic. Essentially, you've got a small town, a mining town in Canada, that have a Valentine's dance every year, and they have a mining community. That's their main source of income is the community, and they two of the staff leave early to attend the the dance for the year, and due to this, five miners are killed. They're trapped and killed, and then 20 years later, um, they decide to start a Valentine's dance again after not doing one for years and years, and lo and behold, a miner in a mask with a pickaxe and a collection of Valentine's heart boxes turns up to say, that's not happening. We don't do that anymore. Um, panned upon release, panned upon released as having relying over gore over content, story content, which I don't really think is fair, but that was the deal. Given massively negative ratings across the board by Siska and Ebert and a lot of other critics at the time. It then went on to gain cult status, as a lot of these things do, when Quentin Tarantino named it one of the most criminally underrated slasher movies of all time. So people jumped on the bandwagon then, and it's just the love's grown from it from there. Made for about $2 million, not huge money, and it is indeed. It definitely is. Only released theatrically in the States and Canada, where it brought in just shy of 6 million. So with all the fuss and all the hoopla around it, it was cut massively by the MPAA. About 3.5 minutes were cut down initially. It doubled its money, so back then, $6 million was $6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a classic. It is a classic. It was much maligned for a long time. The strangest thing to me is there's never been a sequel. I know we had a remake, and we'll touch on that, but never had no sequels, no My Bloody Valentine's Part 2, 3, 4. You know, Harry's dead, the final Valentine's or anything like that, which would have been cool. Um, but it's a good movie. It's a great movie. I watched it twice this week alone, and it holds up well. As I say, it looks old. It feels a little bit cheesy at times, but that's part of the charm.
It,
Amazing.
it is 1980s, like in the 80s. Like you said, it does even look older than that.
It does.
Like
Yeah. If you didn't know, you'd think it was a mid 70s movie for sure.
the
Right.
Uh,
Right. It felt that way. It really did. But like my first go through, I wasn't really sure because I don't even remember when I watched this movie. I mean, it's probably been 20, 30 years at this point. Somewhere between then, since the last time I watched it, it was probably early 90s when I was like a young teen, is when I first saw that film. And it
mhm.
was not memorable to me at that point in time. But then again, I didn't care so much about that type of stuff back then. I cared more about the fantasy and action movies, like Face Off and stuff like that. Um, but rewatching this, I didn't realize just kind of like as you said, as a slasher film goes, and I actually agree with Tarantino's assessment of the film. It is very much underrated. I enjoyed it a lot more than I ever thought that I would.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, I enjoyed I actually enjoyed the storyline. Like a lot of the films, the storyline is very, very basic. This was very kind of like thought out with the way that the character was developed and the way that the events were developed.
I agree.
And that
I
was
agree
different.
completely.
That was different too from most of the other
Yeah.
ones.
Yep, I agree completely. To think that it was panned for lack of story content is I think it's ludicrous.
Right.
I don't know what was released at the same time that they felt that this had no story, but I think it's got quite a decent story-driven arc to it. To be honest,
Mhm.
the effects are great. The kills are great. It's just a fun time. It really is. Yes, so it was good. I never look at a heart-shaped Valentine's box the same way again after watching that movie.
True story.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it is a classic, and if you haven't seen it, guys, go see it. Do we have a favorite kill, guys? Something we're looking at doing the favorite kills to these movies. So let's see what we've got favorite kill wise. See if any of us have the same
See,
same kills.
for My Bloody Valentine, I don't know that one's tough because there were actually three that I thought
Okay.
there were three that I actually enjoyed. The first one that I really liked was the dryer.
Yeah,
That's my favorite. That's
Is
my
it really?
favorite.
That
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that, so that one kind of caught me off guard, and I was just like, okay, I thought he just murdered her, and boom, they were gonna find the. Nope, she was in the dryer, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh god. But I thought the nail gun in the mine was a really good
Yeah.
one.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for the sheer, because it made me laugh, was the killing in the pot of hot dogs.
Yeah. The pot hot dogs one's funny. That's a admit. Okay. Okay. Mine, as much as the dryer one is great, and there's some quirkiness to the others you mentioned. My favorite is the pitchfork up through the chin and out through the eye. Oh my
Oh
god!
yes, that was
It
a good
just it
one
just
too.
it just stays. It just sort of lingers there with his eyeball hanging around.
JT said the
And
hot dog
hot
ones
dogs.
get my
Yeah,
vote.
fair. It's fair. It's
That
fair.
one was hilarious.
Yeah,
JT wants
that's
to know: do
decent.
you think there'll ever be a sequel, or if just is it just a reboot, if
I'm
anything?
amazed. I'm amazed they've not looked at. Certainly now as well. I mean, I try to keep my pulse. Keep my finger on the pulse of a lot of this stuff. Um, and there's never any talk of it. Never seen any talk of it. I mean, it doubled its money. I know it wasn't huge money, but movies didn't make huge money. Certainly slasher movies in the early '80s. So 6 million, and it was only released in 2 countries. I can't imagine it was released to many theaters, admittedly. Um, but yeah, I'm surprised there isn't. Like I say, the remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, reimagining from 2000 and I want to say 2009, did very well, and was it on those tomatoes that are rotten. It's got a higher rating than the original, believe it or not. Not by much, but it has. Yeah, I'm surprised. I am surprised. There's no sign of it. A little bit of trivia on this one. So when they were scouting for locations, the town they picked, which is the towning area, was in Nova Scotia, and they found it and they picked it, and they were like, "It's great. It looks decrepit and old, and the mine is filthy, etc., etc. It'll really work." So when they secured the space for secured the township to do this, um, the town spent $10,000 cleaning everything.
Oh
So that
my
when they got
god.
there and started filming, they were like, why is it all shiny? Like, what's happened? And they explained it. So they then spent another $50,000 putting it back how it was. So on
Oh
that
my god.
on
That's
that
crazy.
$2.6 million budget, 50 grand of it went on re-dirtying the mine. So
That's
crazy.
funny.
Oh man, I know, right? No, I recommend it highly. I think it's it's essential. I think it's essential at this point. You know, any aspiring horror heads that want to go down the slasher rabbit hole and see, a fun time from when they were at their best. This would
It's a
make the
good
list for
slasher
sure.
film. Yeah,
It
it's
is.
a good
It is
slasher
for
film.
sure.
Nothing that you have to be too focused on. You could just like
No.
it's a light watch. Like you could just enjoy it, just relax and
Yeah.
watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not hard work in any way. It flows quite well. I'd say the score is quite amusing at times. But the effects are great. The acting is okay. It's above what you may have found for the times.
It's all right. It's
Here
all
here
right.
and there. Yeah, 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 yeah. I love the bigger guy with the mustache and the glasses. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. He's hilarious. But it's definitely for worth a watch if you haven't seen it for sure, and watch it before the remake. I haven't seen the Soldier. Okay, I don't know
Is
who
that
that
is that the dude from Supernatural? Is that who you're talking about, Rachel?
Jensen Ackles. Is that the
Yeah.
guy? I've never seen Supernatural for my shame. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. On
I didn't
this,
watch the remake.
okay, so the remake itself is essentially the same movie. It came out under the guise of My Bloody Valentine 3D. That was the gimmick. It was a 3D movie. So, like most 3D movies, the kills are staged. So you get, a pickaxe in the face or an eyeball comes at you or whatever. I was dubious to say the least, but I've seen worse. I've seen much, much worse. Let's put it that way. It's relatively Mel Wade. Yeah,
It's
he
on.
is. He is in
Yeah.
the boys. Yeah. Um, so it's full of very pretty people, all getting offed in various ways. Thankfully, they do stick to the R rating. It's not gone down the cash in PG-13 route. Again, cast are pretty good in it. It's okay. I've seen much worse. As I say, I enjoyed it for what it was. Um,
I will.
Crazily, sorry. Yeah.
I was gonna say I will say this: the nude scene in the
That
remake
just
was
goes on.
much more gratuitous than
That scene
anything.
just goes on. That scene goes on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. She was
She's
she was
she's
naked for a long time. I was like, "What is happening right now?"
completely naked for 10 minutes.
It's the difference in when the movies were made.
True.
You know what I mean? Like back in the '80s, you would have done that. Your movie would have got canceled. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
calm down there. You know,
They,
like
I mean, they still had that opening scene in the original, but like this was, I mean, that was just a few seconds,
Yeah.
but this one was just like she was running
It's-
around, like he said, for like 10 minutes being
It's
chased.
it feels like it's about 10 minutes, and she's completely naked apart from a set of shoes.
Yeah.
It's
Random.
really random. Made for 14 million, which in 2009 was no mean feat. I had no idea, but it brought in $100 million.
And
Again,
still no sequel. That still
and, I
doesn't
was
make
gonna say,
sense.
and again, no sequels. No sequels. No talk of a sequel. No talk of an HBO TV show or anything.
Oh,
It's
that would be a good one.
yeah. There's nothing. Um, what was your favorite kill in the remake, Keith? Did you have
Ooh,
one?
yeah. The scene on the porch where he gets his jaw ripped out.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
That
Yeah,
was my favorite one. Had to be.
that was my close second. My favorite was the one where he lowers the mayor Ben's head down onto the pipe, and
Oh
he's there and
God.
he goes and he's screaming and he goes, "Ah, shit!" and then it just goes through his eye and comes at the back. In 3D, it would be hilarious, I'm sure. Yeah, if it's on and you were doing chores or whatever, it's not the worst watch in the world by any means. As I always say, I watch this stuff so you don't have to. Um, it's it's not the worst thing by any means, but the original is essential viewing, I think.
We're uh,
Um,
we're raising another horror fan in the family. My daughter Scarlett, she's watching the show right now, and she adores horror films. Like she's
awesome,
watched Scream, she's watched every episode of like all the Screams, by the way, every single one of them, and like all the episodes of Walking Dead. Like she is my horror fanatic.
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
that is great.
awesome.
How old is she?
8,
Oh, wow.
but she doesn't get afraid of this stuff. It's crazy. She loves it.
No. That's I was the same. I got sucked into this stuff at about 10 years old, and I've never shied away from it.
Yeah,
All these years
that's
later,
her.
so
That's her.
it just catches you. Um, I
Yeah.
gave
So
the
some of your stuff is a little nuts, Rachel. She just commented she doesn't like my horror movies.
I mean, maybe we should bring Rachel on an episode. Maybe mine and her movies are maybe more similar. These guys are making me watch movies that I've never seen in my life. Um, this month wasn't that bad. I was like, ooh, I actually seen two of them. I hadn't seen My Bloody Valentine ever. But I had seen Valentine and Happy Death Day. So I'm like, okay, hey, I'm good this month. But the previous
Well,
episodes, it was always like, here, Mel, here's 3 movies to watch.
so have you ever
Dash
seen
Cam's a good
Dash
one,
Cam?
yes.
Yeah, I've
Ooh,
seen
that
Dash
That's a
was
good one.
Dash Cam was
yeah,
messed up.
yeah. Ashcam's a decent watch. Have you, another one that she made, like is in Shutter over here, is Influencer. Have you seen that from last year?
Yes.
I haven't. She may have.
That was messed up. That was messed
She
up. That was
she
scary.
she enjoys showing me the ones that are like so just you can't even have words for it because she wants to see my reaction. So instead of watching the film, she'll watch me throughout the entire thing.
Mm. Well,
Basket
that's the
case.
case. All I can say is, if you've not seen it, go watch When Evil Lurks. I've been watching these movies for 30 years, and when Evil Lurks finished, I felt like gargling holy water just to feel happy and safe again. That film
See, I,
Okay.
disturbed. Oh
All
my!
right.
It's Argentinian movie subtitles. It's on Shutter here. It's probably available on AMC or something for you guys. Well, there's no happy ending or fun in that movie. It's just lack of hope and you know dire circumstance. It's brilliantly made and brilliantly acted and everything you want from a proper horror movie. It was my
yeah,
favorite movie of last year.
gotcha. See, I felt that way watching Doctor Sleep, man, because of that one scene. Like it messed me up in my head for a minute. I
With
had
the
to take a
kid.
moment. Yes, God
Yeah,
bless.
that's the only. That's it. To be fair, that is probably the only scene in that movie that would trigger. I guess I've not read the book. Admittedly, I don't know what the novel's like. I
Right,
haven't read The Shining and watched The Shining I don't know how many times, and seen the remake or TV version with Stephen Weber in.
right.
Oh, puts shivers down just saying it. Anyway, My Bloody Valentine, 1981. I gave it 4 out of 5. The remake I gave 3 out of 5. So
I agree.
not
I
not bad,
agree.
not bad at all, not bad at all. Go check it out. It's
I give it
quirky.
a
It's weird.
3 out of 5 hours. That's too cheesy for me. Something about
Too
the
cheesy.
acting just doesn't sit well
That's
for
fine.
me.
It's that era. It's just that
Yeah.
they were all that way.
Thing is, as well, a lot of these movies go one of two ways. They either stand the test of time, or they're very much a product of their time. My Bloody
Right.
Valentine is the latter for sure.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
but it's a good time. It's a fun watch, and if you're looking into slashers and the history of slashers, it's definitely in the conversation.
Absolutely.
I do like how they redid the dryer kill in the remake as an
Mhm.
homage to the original as well.
Yeah. The remake goes down a slightly different road, obviously in the finale, which we won't go into for spoilers. But quite clever. It's quite clever in
It
its
was.
in its way. Um, the original, just goes batshit crazy. To be fair, for the last 20 minutes, it just goes off on its own tangent, and the mind comes tumbling down and so on. And spoilers, but yeah, go check it out. Go check it out. I left the
Yeah,
best bit out there intentionally.
if you enjoy Jason Eccles from Supernatural, it's worth watching just for his performance there. I
Mhm.
also if you're a fan of Dawson's Creek from back in the day, Kerr Smith is in it as well, or Final
100%.
Destination. Kerr Smith
Yep.
is in it, and he actually gives a pretty good performance. Jamie King, who I absolutely love from Sin City, and was it what's that show that she was in, the zombie show that was just recent on Netflix? Crud, Black Summer. There we go.
Okay. And more importantly, it's got Tom Atkins in it.
Yep.
That's it. Horror royalty. Tom Atkins is the man.
Yep.
So, yeah, check it out. I don't know how easily accessible the remake would be, but most of these movies are available in one format or another across the multiple streaming sites we now have available. The original might even be in the public domain now. It's that old. It may be. I don't. Yeah, check YouTube. It may well be there. Tends to happen once they get to a certain age. But check it out for sure. 100%. Cool.
Well,
Okay.
since I brought up Dawson's Creek and it's from the same era, let's go to Valentine.
Valentine. Did you know Valentine came out 23 years ago today?
Is it really?
It
Oh
is
wow,
indeed.
did it? That's
Yep.
pretty fuck. That's
23
pretty
years
cool.
ago. I kind of love this movie.
I do.
It's kind of I shouldn't, but I kind of do. Maybe it's because I'm a massive Buffy and Angel geek, and
Mm-hmm.
And that's
the
it.
Boreanaz. Yeah, it might well be
That's
that.
it. That's it right there. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking the same thing. Like when this came out, I had to see it because he was in it, and I was such a
Yep.
huge fan of Buffy the Vampire
Yep.
Slayer at the time.
Yeah. And for other reasons completely, I was quite a huge fan of Denise Richards.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, Valentine, 2001. So a few, 20 years on from My Bloody Valentine. It kind of got soaked up in the Scream rip-off conversations and
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
panned essentially. It's a bit smarter than that. I think it's fair to say. I think it's not just a cash in. There are elements of it for sure, but
Right.
for the time, horror was kind of in the doldrums in the 90s leading into the noughties, and we were just starting to come out of that in sort of 2001 onwards. The biggest issue this movie has, it came out at the same time as The Others and Jeepers Creepers. I mean, The Others made the Others made a fortune, but it just killed everything. No pun intended. But Valentine, you got four friends, friends since school. They're all attractive. That's the best way to put it, as is everyone in this movie again. They've all been friends for a very long time, and they all at one point or another have either bullied or been mean to the geek in school, the kid.
Right.
20 or so years later, they're being stalked by a guy in a cherub mask, as in the cover shows. Is it the guy from school? Is it someone else? We don't know. And it's a slasher in that respect as well. Another movie, as I say, panned upon release. As I said, David Boreanaz was at the height of his fame, I think, at this point, probably.
Yeah.
So a certain crowd, as you say, me and you for sure, Keith, went and saw this on that very reason.
Yeah.
Not a huge amount of people saw it, unfortunately. Made for 29 million, and it brought in about 36 globally. So it made money. It didn't, it wasn't a complete flop. It made money. Just, how much money is
like
enough
Not as
money.
much.
Yeah,
It came
just how
out
much-
at the same time as so many other
Yeah.
movies that
Yeah.
made so much money.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, as I say, the others killed everything that year. The others just trampled everything in horror wise, and then even with its controversy, the original Jeepers Creepers was loved and made a fortune. So it kind of got sort of brushed by the wayside a little bit. There are elements of Scream, and I know it did last summer and so on there for sure, but I don't think it's just a clear rip off. I think it's a bit, as I say, a bit smarter. It's very well shot. It's it's very well made. The cast are all pretty good. I mean, Denise Richards is, I think her name's Paige in the movie. Her main
Yes.
trait is she's obnoxious. Can't imagine it was much of a stretch.
No.
But so
it's her type. Every movie,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild Things, same thing. Pretty
Yep,
girl.
exactly. Yep. A very brief appearance by a very young Katherine Heigl.
Yep.
I forgot she was even in this movie, to be honest. But yeah, it's decent, and if you just want something you can put on and it's a fun time, and you want to see very pretty people get stalked and killed,
There's another.
and that's for you,
Yeah. There's another actress that's in there that I recognized almost immediately because she plays a character in one of my favorite franchises, video game franchises, and that's Final Fantasy X. Hetty Burris is she plays Yuna in the Final Fantasy X series.
Okay.
So I recognized her because I absolutely loved that game. I didn't even know who she was back then. So
Yeah,
but now rewatching it, I noticed that she was in it, and I was like, "Well, dang."
Yeah. there's a few people that pop up in it as well that you sort of, I know that person from so and so. But they've all continuously worked in something or over the years.
Yeah,
So you've seen them all in something for
right.
sure.
Daniel
Um,
Cosgrove is one because
yes,
he was in Van Wilder with the.
there
That's
you
one of
go.
the funniest the bucket scene.
You need to tell stories. Okay, where would I find this one, Rachel?
So that's they so I don't remember those books. You may or may not have had them in the UK, but there was this book, the series of books that were um, uh, stories in the dark and stuff like that. There was like an entire series of them that held these little short stories of just like creepy and thriller things, and they started to make films based off of that. And I think um, there's one if I'm it's yeah, Scary Stories in the Dark is what it's called, and it's not bad. I was expecting it to, considering that they tried to cater more towards like the younger teen for this, because that's what those books were designed for in originally.
Okay,
It actually came out pretty good. I actually enjoyed what I saw, and they did. They kind of like hit on several of the stories in one of the novellas.
is this
Oh, it's
is one?
tiny.
Yeah, I've seen it.
There it
I've
is.
seen it. The one of the stories is the guy who becomes the town scarecrow, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's okay actually. I didn't realize it was from a series of novels, but yeah, it's decent. Quite enjoyed it actually.
yeah.
Um,
I remember as a kid that like when we used to do book fairs. Yeah, like, we don't do that anymore, do we? But book fairs, we used to do that, and I used to grab those books all the time. Those series of books, I love them.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Does Valentine have many bad scenes to fast forward?
Um, I don't think there was really any. I don't think there was any nudity. It was just suggestive, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no. Yeah,
I mean, it was Rachel. It was sexy. I mean, there was like scenes with like in bathing suits and stuff like that. So there was little things like that. But speaking of which, we'll get to one of those scenes in a minute because that is my favorite kill scene, by the way.
yeah,
It is
mine too, I
also
think.
mine. I
Yeah,
mean, I
mine
think.
too. Funnily enough, I think we're all three of us are on the same page. No, there's no nudity or there's no scene like in the remake of My Bloody Valentine for sure.
Yeah.
It might have made more money if they did that. To be fair,
To be fair, yeah, she
um,
might have made more money if she did that.
yeah, yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, no, I mean, I like you said, I thought it was a clever film. Even going back and rewatching it, I was kind of like, is this going to end up being dated? And it really wasn't. It still held up in my eyes.
it's a decent whodunit because
Yeah,
it's actually and the one of the scenes, spoilers, the one of the ones that really sticks with me is the chocolates.
yeah.
The time and effort and pure just sadism to do what he does to those chocolates is unreal, really. Um, that stuck with me for quite a while. Okay, favorite kills.
Hot tub.
I
Hot tub.
literally I've got written down here electricity versus hot tub.
Yep. It had to be like that. Was just that scene was not only well shot, it was well acted. The choreography was great on it. Like it was just a good. It was just well done. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good kill. I like the opening kill as well. I think the opening
Yeah,
kill is from a stalker slasher point of view. I think the opening kill's very good. To be
yeah.
fair as
And
well.
Catherine sold that one well too. I that was my second favorite. Was actually
Yeah,
the opening kill.
yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a fun time, and again, it was much maligned at the time of release, and I think it's gained quite a following over the years. Coming out in a time when, like I say, horror was just starting to claw its way back into into the theaters and into people's homes
Right.
after the doldrum of the 90s, pretty much. But yeah,
Now,
it's decent.
I will say this. I will say this too, guys. David Boreanaz literally played Angel in a human form in this movie. Let's
Yeah,
just be
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very true. Um,
But doesn't he
but
always? Anything he plays, there's
yeah,
nothing. I can't. Anything he's in, I'm like, oh, look, it's Angel. I'm like,
yeah,
has
yeah. It
nothing
always
to do
is.
with Angel, and I'm like, hey, it's Angel, but I can't.
I don't
take
think
him
I've seen
away
him
from
in that.
that role.
Yeah,
But he was,
I'm not
but
sure.
he played it almost like identical to his character in
Mm,
Buffy. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
like at least in other stuff, like he deviates a little bit. Like his personality, you can tell there's a difference. But this character was very much angel in human form.
It's probably written for him. You know
Probably,
how,
yeah,
you know.
it
because of
wouldn't surprise me.
how big he was. Yeah, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. I don't think I've seen him in anything else. To be fair, apart from obviously Angel and Buffy, and then this.
He's
I
done
never
that
watched
TV
Uh,
Bones.
show Bones, I think it
Yeah,
yeah.
was called.
I've never seen Bones.
Well, he did
Um,
that. I mean, he did that for like what over a decade. So
mhm. Yeah, I mean, he's made in fairness to him, he's made a decent career from. I'm
two
not saying he's
shows.
not saying he's a talented man, but
Well, three
he,
shows if you count Angel.
he doesn't need to be clearing any shelf space for golden statues anytime soon. Let's be fair. So, um, it's fair play to him, really. Yeah, Valentine's a fun time. Again, you don't need to give it too much attention. The story isn't overly sort of overwhelming by any means.
No.
Um, the speed dating scene's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's a bit of comic
Yes.
relief in the speed dating scene.
Yes.
It's quite funny. Um, yeah, it's a fun time. I recommend it. I gave it 3 out of 5, which in my scale means it's definitely watchable and worth your time.
That's
I agree.
Okay.
definitely, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely
Okay.
agree.
Okay. So that takes us over to
The birthday
a
girl.
a little different. The birthday girl's
We're
request.
gonna let this was her request, so we're gonna let Melany talk about this one.
Oh shit! Here we go. Happy birthday. I mean, another movie where you don't have to pay too much attention, but you do want to watch it because the kills are funny. I mean, once you realize what's going on, it's she's so like, "Ugh, let's fucking do this again, you know. Uh, I mean, I fucking loved it. Mark has a whole spiel on it, so I'll let him
I
do
do.
that part.
Yeah, no
So-
problem.
That's his job.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'll
true.
say this. I'll say this about it. Just quickly, I absolutely hated her in the very beginning of this movie. Like I despise her. It almost made me want to stop watching, to be honest with you.
That's
But
kind of the point now, right?
but at the same time, like I gotta give them kudos because even though she was such a dislikable character, by the end of the movie, I was bought in.
Hmm. The thing
And
is,
now,
she's very much a spoiled brat, and she grows as a
oh
person,
god,
doesn't she?
God, just awful human being. Like it
Yeah,
was just, I
yeah,
was like, you are everything that is wrong with society. Like
Yep.
straight up, everything that is wrong with society.
yeah.
And but yeah, I'll let you. We'll continue on that. Let's hear Mark's
Okay.
spiel on the film.
Spiel. Okay, so Happy Death Day came out in 2017, so quite recent. Essentially, it's Groundhog Day. You've got a college student by the name of Tree. Okay. She's stalked.
That's part of the
and-
problem.
Yeah, she's stalked and murdered by a guy in a baby mask. Over and over and over. Every time she dies, she wakes back up the following morning and tries to get on with it and work out what's going on essentially. And it's just the day repeats, and every time she thinks she's maybe got her head around the scenario, she gets killed in a different way, and it just goes on and on and on until she can work out who's behind all this and try and move on to the following day. It really is Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day, but
Horror
for slashers. Yeah,
for slashers. Yeah,
yeah, but for slashers. It's a lot of fun. I'd
is.
seen this once before, and I'd forgotten a huge amount of it. It was the last thing I watched of the three. I just thought, okay, let's sort of crack on with this one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. As I haven't seen the sequel. It did spawn a sequel a couple of years later, 2019. Same actress, and some of the same cast. So it's Blumhouse. Blumhouse do what they do. It made a fortune. Made an absolute fortune. Not
I can
panned
see
upon
why.
release. Yeah, not panned on release at all. Generally, sort of the general opinion is it's a lot of fun. It's well made. It's well acted and so on. There's no real hate for this movie, and rightly so. There's no need to be. It is what it is. Made for $4 million. It brought back in $125 million.
Jeez.
I
Hmm.
had no idea. I honestly had no idea. I guessed it had made a lot of money because one, it's Blumhouse, and two, it spawned a sequel. And Blumhouse, yes, they do throw money at things, but they don't make sequels if there's no money to be made. So yeah, so officially $4.8 million, and it brought in 125.
That has got to be one of the more profitable horror films of all
Has to be,
time.
yeah, has to be. So the sequel then came out. Um, 2019 Happy Death Day to You, which I've not seen. I'll openly admit, so I'm gonna
Yep.
find that.
I want to watch
Yeah,
it now.
yeah, I've not seen it. Um, Made for 9 million, so made for a little bit more money, but it still made 65 million. So those two movies have made close to $200 million off a budget of
Yep.
what, 13 million.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why studios love horror. It can be made cheaply, and if you catch it at the right time, you will
Makes
make an
tons of money. Yeah.
absolute fortune. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, a lot of fun. Anyone's favorite kill? There's a lot of them in this one.
I mean,
Now we'll start with you.
I feel like her. I mean, when she gets out of the fucking room completely naked. I mean, she's had it. She's fucking fed up, and she's like, I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna die
Yeah,
anyways,
yeah,
and nobody's gonna remember this. Like, she just fucks it. Like, I love that. She just, there is no care anymore. Like,
yeah,
but all of them, that movie could have just went on forever, like with
yeah,
different kind of deaths. But
yeah,
they're all kind of a little funny, also.
yeah. And a decent twist.
Yeah.
It's got a decent twist.
Honestly, in this one, I like the redemption death, where like was it Carter? Carter ends up dying, and she's like, "Screw this! I'm not going to let him stay dead, even though I know how to beat this thing now." And she ends up killing herself to save him. Like that, I
Yeah.
thought that was showing full circle. That's what I mean when I say like I really bought into her by the time the film was over, which is
Hmm.
rare when you have someone that you absolutely loathe so much in the beginning of a film like that. Um, she came full circle, so the character growth there was fantastic in the way that she did that at the end. That's got to be my favorite one because I was like, yes, girl, you're finally waking up to the world. You're getting it. Let's do this. I want you to win. Like I wanted her to win at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow, mine was nowhere near that deep. I like the cop car one because it made me laugh. The policeman pulls her over, and then the policeman gets hit by the car, and then she turns around, and the killer lights the fuel, and she just
Yep.
goes, "Oh
Yeah.
fuck!"
That was a good one
Brilliant.
too.
That was not deep at all, but it made me chuckle. So that was definitely mine. But any of them, there's so many of them. The way they transition from the death to the following day is really clever. Um, yeah, I'm definitely going to seek the sequel out. And again, another one. If you haven't seen it, I'd imagine it's available everywhere. It's a recent movie. Um, Give it a go for sure. It's a lot of fun. So those were our three movies, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
The three
We
movies we
went.
picked.
We went light this month. We went with very like fluffy
I know,
movies,
right?
not too much in depth. Like whoa.
Yeah, well, because we picked Valentine's, as much as there are some classics, there's not, we haven't got stacks and stacks to choose from. It was, we
Right.
made our pick quite quickly, didn't we? So, going forward, I'm sure it'll get a lot more um, grisly. I'm sorry, Mel. Definitely get a lot more grisly as we go. Yeah. As
I
I said,
need more gore.
I watch this stuff so you guys don't have to. But
Right.
yeah. All good movies, all a good time, and I would definitely recommend any of them um, on a weekend, on Sunday or Saturday evening for you guys, as it is at the moment. Not so much for myself.
Yeah,
Although
it's
you
probably
never
early
know.
in the morning.
Well, we have
Yeah,
plenty. We have a bit of time to talk, guys, because
yeah,
I
sure, of
mean, we
course.
did it pretty fast. So what's
Yeah,
the
we flew through
plans?
these.
What's the plans for Nightfall? What's the plans for the Hathway House of Horror in the next month? Let's say.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll let Mark go first.
To get this off the ground is my main priority. The house is a lot of work, but it kind of takes care of itself to a degree. Just hit 2,000 followers.
Congrats.
Thank you. 2,100 and something, which is mind blowing. For less than a year of going.
Amazing.
Um, yeah. It's been incredible, actually. To be fair, I was actually taken back and quite shocked and humbled by it when I looked, and it came up saying, "Congratulations, 2,000." Wow. Um, so continue with that. Continue with the house. Continue releasing the reviews and so on that people seem to enjoy, which is great. Um, and then from there, as I say, we're venturing into this world now, so we'll start putting our efforts and hard work ethic into making Fear everything it can be. That's kind of
Yeah.
my goal at the moment going forward. Um, yeah, as I say, the house is a lot of work, but it kind of takes care of itself in a way. So that's where I am at the moment.
Awesome. Well, I'm not that much different, guys. I'm just a couple of followers away from 2,500. And again, I've only really been pushing the project since the beginning of 2023. So again, it's been just about a year
Yeah.
since we started really pushing things and started releasing on a more rigorous schedule. And provided there's no other hiccups, the album, the physical album called Destiny Calling, will be released on March 24th. Um, I'm not actually releasing all of the songs to streaming on that same day. So the singles will be released on a schedule. So I'm going to release the singles over time. That will complete the album on streaming. But if you want to hear all of the music, you'll actually have to pick up the album, which will be complete with like a full booklet with artwork and lyrics and all of that stuff. So it's going to be like the old school days where you had a CD with an actual booklet.
That's
Um,
amazing. I love
so
it.
I'm going all out. I'm going all out for it. There's a lot of other stuff happening. We just welcomed Adrian into the Knightfall family. He's going to be singing my little concept song that we have called "Remember My Name," which is about Achilles and the Battle of Troy with Hector and all that. We've got almost all of the music completed. The next single is pretty much ready to go. It's called "The Hero Walks Alone." So that one probably be released sooner than later. I don't have a date for it yet, but that one's going to have Pete Rawcliffe on it. It's going to have Marcos Panade. It's going to have me. It's the only song on the album that I'm actually going to be singing on. So I am
Nice.
actually providing vocals to this song. It's like a baritone part, and you'll all hear it when it comes out. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then I'm also venturing into a bunch of other stuff too. So obviously we've got Fear. But a friend and myself are going to be starting to work on a full-fledged video game as well. So fantasy genre, all that stuff. So he's
Very
uh,
cool.
he's
Mm,
he's pretty good at the tech side of things, and I'm good with stories and character creation and stuff like that. So I'm writing the story, and he's going to provide the graphics and the game and stuff like that too. So I'm doing that. And then on a more personal note, the only thing that might slow me down, I'm trying to get as much as I can done while I can right now. The only thing that's going to slow me down is the surgery. So I did test my A1C a few days ago, and I am ready to have surgery. So a little bit nerve wracking, but at the same time needs to be done because I still have very little feeling in my left side. But
okay.
that won't happen until probably April or March. And when it does happen, it's going to be a pretty significant surgery. They have to replace a good chunk of my neck.
Wow.
So yeah, it's going to be a lot. So they have to do two cages. They're having to do work to my C2 vertebrae all the way down to T1. So it's the entire neck that
Wow.
needs fixing. So
Okay.
pretty major. So I'm trying to do as much as I can until that happens.
Makes
For
sense. Makes
sure.
sense for sure. Yeah, 100%. What about yourself, Mel? I know you've got a lot going on. And what are your
Uh,
plans for your birthday?
Plans for my birthday, probably hit up a show, local show here somewhere. We don't know where, who, anybody have a show going on next weekend, just let me know. Um, we'll just drive to the bar. There's going to be a show for sure. What's going on? Well, Nyxus podcast every Friday. We're getting busy again. I promised myself, no, we're going to pace it this year. Well, I have just partnered up with Carolina Promotions. Uh, so I will MC festival for them. I'm going to be present in another festival in May. So you guys are going to have to do the Star Wars special alone, unless we do it on a weekend where I could be there. So we'll talk about that. Try to fix it around that.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can be trusted as the two of us.
Yeah, especially with the topic that you just mentioned.
A 6 hour.
I'll go to the festival. I'll come back. They'll still
Yeah.
be here.
We'll still be here talking.
A 6 hour stream on Star Wars.
Listen, I've got an entire bookshelf filled with expanded universe books. If that tells you anything,
yeah, we can make it work. It work.
A lot of people would be here with you guys, I'm sure, and a lot of people would be like, "Hey, bring me in on the conversation." But yeah, just busy. On a personal note, working on some music. Hopefully have that out by the end of February, March, something like that. And I will have also my Voxus 6 interview towards the end of this month.
Ah, okay.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun.
I absolutely adore Christina. She is one of my favorite people.
Yeah, that should be very interesting. Me and Christina get to sit down together and chat. It's gonna be fun. But other than that, working on F.E.A.R with you guys.
Yeah, yep. And thinking of F.E.A.R, and for you guys out there, if you want us to look at any movies in particular, you want to see a certain movie get the F.E.A.R treatment, drop us a line. We can add them to the list. It's not a problem. Always happy to take recommendations and requests. And hey, if you've got a favorite movie you're happy to talk about, come join us.
Exactly.
There's always room. Exactly.
Our phone's going off.
Oh no!
Yes,
Oh no!
Sorry, my kid needs to take antibiotics, and I need to remember. So I have a memory thingy.
There you
sorry
go.
about that. But yes, if you guys want to join us on the show, for sure, write to any one of us, and we
let us
set
know.
it up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every month we're going to be here talking over a few movies, 2 or 3 movies, maybe more. Different, and there's nothing out of bounds, any genre, any sort of subgenre. Obviously, predominantly horror, but we're happy to bend the rules a little bit. If you're really passionate about a certain movie, I'm sure between the 3 of us, we've seen it and we've got an opinion.
That's true.
And it'd be great to see you. Come hang out.
And if we haven't seen it, we'll add it to the list.
Even
and
better.
Next month we will be talking about it. For sure.
Even better.
Sure. Yes.
Even better. If it's something we haven't seen, that's even better because you're discovering something new. That's great.
Yep.
That's right.
I think next month we're gonna go with 4 movies, and
Yeah.
Branched out. Yeah.
See how we get on in terms of what movies they are and what we can come up with from March.
Told you. Glitter Spice World's Crossroads.
That is truly terrifying.
That's scarier than most horror movies, right there.
Yep. That's
Glitter Spice. Who are you? Who have you become?
Might as well throw Josie and the Pussycats in there as well.
That's actually not a bad movie. Come on now. Come on.
Nope.
I've not seen any of those.
Such a far cry from the cartoon. Are you kidding me?
It's a very different type of fear, but it still counts.
It's still fear.
It's definitely fear-inducing, yeah, for sure. But it still counts. I've not seen any of those movies, thankfully.
Yeah.
One other thing.
I just had this thought right now. There's so many people that have worked within the horror industry that like to do stuff like this. Maybe we find some people to reach out to and see if we can bring them on.
Why not?
Whatever you guys want, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up for it. We could bring people that we could bring actors. We could bring.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was just thinking. There's a lot. I mean, all the guys and gals from the horror industry that I've met, at Hellhound, Horror Hound, other conventions and stuff like that, they are always so fan friendly and just love to do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible. You know what I mean?
It's just to reach out to them and to see who we can have here.
Let's
do it.
And then of course there's always the tried and tested but a lot of fun, the watch-alongs.
Yep.
I think something we can maybe explore as well. There's
Yep.
there's a lot of stuff we can do. You know, this is episode 1 of many to come.
Yep.
So stick with us, guys. It's
And
going to be a fun time.
if you guys have
And
ideas,
a wild
and we'll
ride.
make more and more and more episodes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Throw us your
So,
ideas. Let us know what you want to see, and we'll make it happen.
absolutely.
be interesting. It'd be interesting to get some recommendations of stuff. Maybe certainly for myself anyway that not seen before. Doesn't by this point, you know, certainly when it comes to the classics, it doesn't happen too often at this point.
I was gonna say, is it even possible? I mean,
Yeah,
unless
no,
unless you
yeah.
talk Spice World, then he's like, oh.
Hey, like, it's done.
I mean,
I'm over.
hey, it's no Grease 2. Come on. Yeah, no, it's still possible. Obviously, not some. Obviously, the newer stuff comes out and it comes out. In terms of the classics and the older stuff, it's definitely possible. I mean,
Well,
I've seen a lot of
next month I want to be scared. I want
them.
some
Okay.
no sci-fi. No, I want to go to bed at night and be like, holy fuck, what the fuck did I just watch? Like,
All right,
let's
fine.
get it.
Barbarian.
Haunted. It's going to say we got to be looking at haunted houses then maybe, ghost stories, things that go bump in the night.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
sure we
And
can.
of course, we will trigger warning if we're
course.
talking about, there's because those movies usually have a lot of, like, what is it, The Last House to the Left or some shit like that? Like, that movie is
Yeah.
13. Well, I was gonna say 13 Ghosts, but if you've already seen it, it's not that scary.
Well,
13 Ghosts is just beautiful.
No.
That's just one of my favorite movies.
See, there you go. So that one's not gonna work. Barbarian.
Yeah,
telling
Barbarian's
you.
good. I've just reviewed.
It'll mess with you, Mel. Barbarian will mess with you.
Barbarian's a good show. So is Cobweb actually.
Okay.
But I've just reviewed. I've got one review left to go, which I'll go up tomorrow for the Gates of Hell trilogy, Lucio Fulci's
Okay.
Gates of Hell trilogy. City of the Living Dead is twisted. It's beautiful and disgusting in equal measures. I love that movie. The Beyond, which is part 2, not as good, but still extremely good. And then the final installment, which is the review will be up tomorrow, is A House by the Cemetery. The weaker of the 3, but when you're dealing with such classics, the weaker of 3 is not an insult. Yeah, I love City of the Living Dead. It'll stick with you for sure. Yeah, there's a few scenes in that movie that just go on, and I'm like, geez, stop already, but no, they just keep going. So that's where we are with the house at the moment, and then I don't know what I'm going to do next. I've got a pile of requests, and if you guys want to get involved and give us some more requests, we'll get to them. But okay, so 4 movies that are going to scare you next month.
Yeah, 4
Okay.
good, like,
Four
come on,
good
like 4
scare.
good scare.
I think Barbarian. Did you watch Talk to Me? That I haven't seen that one yet.
No, I
Great,
haven't
it's
seen that
really,
one.
it was my second favorite movie of last year.
Okay, was that one kind of messed up and like leave you with a moment where you're like,
Oh yeah.
okay,
It's nothing you haven't seen before.
Like
But-
Midsummer, I want
Oh,
Midsummer, Green Inferno kind of thing. Like,
Okay.
What the
Okay.
hell what happened to me? That
Okay.
kind of feeling. Yeah.
Okay. So March's episode is going to be called Scare Mel.
yeah. Try to figure out what movies we can.
Scare Mel March.
Yes.
Yeah, what movies
There
we
you
can scare the hell out of her.
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
Awesome. I mean, I love all kinds of movies. Psychological horror is.
Have you
I
seen
have to
Black
admit, my
Phone?
favorite. No.
Ooh, that's a good one. That'll leave you. That'll leave you with some messed up thoughts by the end of it. Yep.
Yeah, there's some good stuff out there for sure.
All right.
Black Phone was decent. I enjoyed Black Phone
It was.
quite a lot. I think there's a
Ethan-
sequel coming next year.
Ethan Hawke plays a good.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird one because when I heard it was coming out, I was like, okay, cool. It's from Joe Hill, Stephen King's son.
Yeah.
It's from the guy who made Sinister. Sinister's amazing. I'm in.
Yep.
Ethan Hawke's in it. I'm in. Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke's the bad guy. Hang on, wait, what?
He can
And
play a
then
bad
actually,
guy.
you
Then
and he
You're like,
was
okay.
great. Yeah, he's awesome. absolutely awesome. But yeah, I think by the sounds of it, Barbarian is going to make the list,
Yeah,
which I have absolutely no issue with. That film is crazy.
brilliant, brilliantly good.
So we need three others. But hey, if any of you can think of things we can use to scare Mel, let us know.
Well, listen,
And
I'll say this. I'll say this. When Black Phone, my wife asked me to watch that film after she had seen it, and she wanted me to watch it because she thinks that that movie should be shown to every kid in the world to teach them about stranger danger. And since Mel has
yeah,
kids, I think that that movie will resonate with her just like it did with me and my wife.
you can actually take it to a whole nother level and watch Megan is Missing.
Oh God.
Megan is Missing is
Yeah.
oof. That one will stay with you for a few days. That one stay with me for a while. Megan is Missing. But
There's
yeah,
some
I'm sure
good
we can think of
ones.
something. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and we'll put together a list of
I hear
We'll
someone
movies.
singing Moana in the background.
100% not me.
Manda singing over there. Have you guys
Amazing.
seen Incident in a Ghost Land? You guys seen that one?
No, I haven't heard that one.
So.
Saw it on TikTok because a mother of two who inherits a house is confronted with murderous intruders on the first night in their new home, and fights for her daughter's life. 16 years later, when the daughters reunite at the house, things get really strange.
Ooh.
Oh, is that quite new?
2018.
2018.
Okay. Okay.
I saw it
No.
on TikTok and I was like, it looks very deranged. It seems like one of the intruders like changes everybody like dolls or something, and I am petrified of dolls, so I was like,
Interesting.
so we might want to add that one to the list. Like,
Yeah, I've not seen that one.
all right, so let's put that one. If nobody's seen that one, let's watch
Yeah.
Incident in a Ghostland. That's one.
Okay. Incident in the Ghostland.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
And then we'll think of the two other ones, and we'll
Yeah,
see
yeah,
if
yeah.
anybody sends us any.
Yeah. So we've got two. We need two more.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
But,
And so I was one of those I haven't seen, so that's exciting.
well, I'm trying to keep my eyes open. I'm trying to keep, because of that, it's hard to find movies that Mark's like, I haven't seen it, but I did it, guys. High five. First
There
episode,
you go.
I succeeded.
There you
Let's
go. You got it.
Thank you,
There we go.
TikTok.
Yeah.
It's good for one thing. Movies.
Why you're going to get rid of me after this? I thought you knew
I
what
will-
we were talking about.
I will continue to let my wife give me ideas because she watches. I mean, she finds horror movies just for the sake of watching horror movies. That's all she does at night when she's getting ready to go to sleep and the kids are down.
Like I said, anything like Midsummer will that, you know what I mean, that what did I just watch? And that's, they say that it's the kind of the same feel you get when you finish watching Incident in the Ghostland.
See, the company that made Midsummer is the one that's made like Pearl and X and all that stuff too. Like they have a lot of movies that are similar with like cerebral mind messing with you. There's so many of them they've got. So was it A23? Is that what it is? They're called
A24. Yeah,
A24.
Yeah. And I love A24 Studios, man, because they not only do they make a lot of movies that are of a high quality, but my favorite director, Ty West, pretty much exclusively works for them. Most of his movies, he's responsible for X and Pearl and the upcoming Maxine and the Innkeepers and so on and so on and so on. I love Ty. I love the work. I love the work of Ty West. I'm a big fan. And
they did Talk to Me as well.
Yeah. Talk to Me is great. I really enjoy Talk to Me. It's one of those where it's nothing you haven't seen before, but because it's made so well, it doesn't matter. So I reviewed my top 3 movies from last year a few weeks back, and number 3 was Infinity Pool. That film is messed up. Talk to Me came in second. Then as discussed earlier, When Evil Lurks hit my top spot just because it was just so dread-inducing. At the end of that film, I was like, ugh. It really hits you. It's a great movie, but yeah, all good. March is going to be fun.
Oh yes, we will come back with a day, guys.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
to all get together so we could figure out a day. We'll post, the three of us will post it on our social pages.
Yep.
You will have plenty of warning in advance, and we'll give you time also to watch the movies if you want to come with us and review either in the comments or come and sit with us. We could send you an invite. There's some spots. There's plenty of spots.
Yeah.
I'm on the journey.
Exactly. Come get involved. So.
And don't forget to follow the guys. The guys have I think Marc has a new YouTube page.
I do. Yep.
Keith, is it a new YouTube page or is it the same YouTube page?
Nope, I'm going to use this with the Knightfall page since it's something that I am doing. And so, yeah, just come and subscribe to Knightfall, and that's where the lives through my page will be. So, yeah, definitely check us out on all of our platforms.
So now you got 6 places that you could catch us. So there's no excuse to miss an episode anymore, guys.
Yep.
Exactly. If I can stay up this late, so can you.
True story. Marc, what time is it there?
It is 1:14 a.m.
There you go. That's dedication, folks.
There you go. If I can do it, you can. Honest, it's not a problem.
Right. Just have a few coffees. That's what I did. She left with it, but I went to get a huge coffee with like 2 shots of espresso in it, and I was like, let's do this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm
wired
wired
away
now.
for days. I don't drink caffeine at all.
I have major ADHD, so that will just help me calm down and put me to sleep later. So
no, makes sense.
That does make sense.
No, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
Anything you guys want to say before we go? Because I mean, we've talked about the movies. We've talked about next week. So
I guess just ask Amanda how far did she go.
She's still singing. I'll ask her and I'll let you know. Oh shit!
I kind of want to watch Moana now. I was going to bed, but I might watch Moana instead.
Was she singing Moana? I'll go ask her later.
Yeah, she was thinking how far I'll go. That's what she was saying.
Yeah, it was 100% Moana.
At least she can sing. At least it was not horrible. So we're
Oh, she was belting. She was belting it. I heard it. She was nailing it. It was a good job.
She's on an application that we sing on, and she's probably live over there singing. So.
Oh, like Smule or something?
Yeah, it's Star Maker. Same.
Gotcha.
Same kind of. There's party rooms though, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Well,
not really from me. Let's say
we're good.
You can find the house in most places. The reviews are on Facebook, but I'm on Instagram, on Twitter. As I say, the YouTube channel has been, or X. I'm sorry, don't sue. And XY. And my YouTube. Yeah, so I launched a YouTube channel literally yesterday, and these videos will be going up there. Come say hi. Come hang out. Let me know.
Yeah.
Anything you want to get the house treatment. My reviews are a little bit different to most people's. I think it's fair to say.
I'll agree with that.
I go into detail. Maybe
Very
too much detail.
So.
I don't know. Yeah,
no,
maybe too much.
Listen, you know what you're getting, by the end of one of your reviews. So, they're good, and I like the fact that they're detailed because it also, if I've seen the film, it also, in a lot of cases, validates some of the points that I've had in my own mind. So I like the fact that you do the detail that you do. So I appreciate it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot.
It's nice to have something different, not everybody doing the same thing. So it's breath of fresh air.
Yeah, everybody go follow Marc and the Hathway House of Horror on YouTube because he needs to grow his channel now. So go help him out. All right. So if y'all are fans of Melany and myself, Knightfall and stuff, go and make sure you subscribe to Marc's page.
We'll make sure we share the link. Marc, make a post, and we'll make sure to share the link. So
amazing, of course.
Help everybody grow. Guys, please pretend right now I'm playing an outro. It will be done for next show. I promise. We'll work on that. By the way, if you heard the music from the intro, Mr. Keith right there is the one that did our music.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for doing it, Keith. I was like, can you do something? And he came up with this. It was fucking amazing. Loved it.
Hey, I had fun making it. It took me a little bit out of the normal element that I'm used to working in, so that was it was fun. I enjoyed putting that together and finding the samples and stuff like that to throw in there. And then kudos to Sergio from Wild Thorn because he mixed and mastered for me the final product. So
Very
awesome! Thank
cool.
you, Sergio.
Very cool. Well, guys, that's it for today. We'll catch you next week, and cue the outro. Bye, guys.